Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Hey, y'all, let's get some shares out. Whoa. Let's get some shares out. Let's get some shares out. Man, shout out to my brother Mac, man. Shout out to my brother Mac. Stay ready boxing. Stay ready, Mac. What up, though, fam? Oh, yeah, man, you know. H-Time, you know that cowboy shit, man. I ain't got no cigar like you and Junior, man. But I got something else, though. I ain't got that cigar like you and Junior. I got something else today. Shout out to my bro, man. Stay ready, man. H-Time, man. 44 acre home, man. In the building. Appreciate you popping out. Hey, if y'all pull up, jump on that like button. If y'all pull up, let's jump on that like button. Man, we got a hibachi lecture today, man. We're going to be cooking out the grill. Yeah, sir. We're going to be out the grill with it today. I'm going to try not to hold y'all too long, but we damn sure going to be too strong. Oh, man. Hold up. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. So again, I ain't freaking setting up. I just popped that. Yeah, that's my bad. Let's get them numbers up, man. We got some Lex today. Hibachi style. I got something I want to show y'all too. I probably should have. I probably put it up on my other when we switch. Cause I'm gonna jump out here. I'm gonna go to my other station and we're gonna turn up. What up, though? Y'all been all right? And let me know if my mic straight. Y'all been all right? Man, it took me a little getaway this weekend. And man, I needed it. I had been getting too much rest. But this little weekend getaway did it for me. Fun in the sun, by the water, to the mountaintop. Hanging out in the mountaintop. Yeah. Big ants, grasshoppers, all kinds of shit around me. But I got the reset. And it's the third quarter. Halftime over with. Halftime over with. So yeah. Now we rocking out the Indian way. Halftime is over with. It's July the 1st, man. So y'all know what that means. We on the way up there, heat coat. We on the way to Mexico. Hey, what Mac at? Mac still in here? Look at Mac. Say, Mac, you still in here, man? I might need you in a couple weeks, man. Corey hollering at Mac, man. I might need you in a couple weeks, man. Hold on. Look at Mac. Where you at, fam? Say, man, I'm headed to Mexico, man. I might need your help. Yeah, I might need your help, man. Come on out there with me, man. We leaving in 2 weeks, though. Yeah, I might need your help, man. Yeah, sure. We'll let a few more people pop in, and we're going to get started. Rudy said he been working 36 hours. Goddamn, nigga, let me hold something. Say, look out, Rudy, let me hold something, man. I'm fucked up out here. Rudy, 36. Man, let your boy hold something, man. I've been fucked up out here, man. Shit, goddamn it. For real though, Turtle Island, you think a nigga bullshit. Nigga, I done got hit on the dice. It's the first nigga. I gotta pay my little hoe rent. We arguing earlier today because I'm trying to figure out why I gotta pay the whole thing. And her baby daddy just got paroled to her house. I ain't feeling it. Talking about he sleeping on the couch. Well, hell, that nigga needed, man. Listen, you need to rent a room out for that nigga then. Bitch go lie to me talking about I ain't fucking that nigga. I remember all the hoes he was cheat with before he got a lot. Bitch, shut up. Your motherfucking mouth. Nigga fuck first day out. Bitch, you ain't finna start this fucking on these broke nigga shit. Yeah, I'm contemplating whether I want to throw the bitch back in the ocean and go try to find me something else. I didn't invested so much in the bitch. Bitch, all on my insurance. Do you hear me, fam? Bitch, on my medical and my dental insurance. Do you hear me, fam? I'm sick of it. Nah, fuck that. I'm sick of it. Bitch, on my medical and my Yeah, nah. All right, we got a few people in here, man. We gonna do this here. Let me see if I can do it like this here. Let me see if I can do it like this here. Hey. Man, we got that new BCU merch that popped out. We got that new BCU merch. Hold on, let me see if I can get that up there. Oh, yeah, that's stitched in, man. That's stitched in. We got that new BCU merch. We gonna get to that. Hold on. Turn up. Tell me what you see. Whoa. Hey, jump on that like button. Gotta be something different. You must be made for me. Patience is everything. Hold up. Yeah. Difficult. I don't. We got that BCU merch. You got it back. You got it past me, babe. I don't
never glad that I can have this, baby. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Nobody else makes me. Nobody else had a clue what I could do, what I could do. Right around the love, right around the trip, right around the dick. Right around the slap me up, baby, don't wanna fit. Right around the world, right around the talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that.
What's up, BCU? We get some flames in the building.
Feel it in my heart, feel it in my soul, feel it in my body,
Hold up. Get what? Never fall out of you. Yeah. Go with it. Baby, I'm trusting you.
I'm trusting you. Fighting on my mind, fighting on my life for you. I'm trusting you, babe.
Get what?
I want this. I want this. You ever so bad that I feel it in my chest and I want it. I want it. Yeah.
Never fall out of love.
You.
Yeah. Go with it. Go with it.
It's going down and knock you down. In the big leagues after the ball. When Mama bought her in.
Hold up.
Follow it be like this.
Yeah.
Usually my exes turn to enemies.
Get what?
But this is different.
Cause we got closer now that you ain't letting me. Oh, there we at. Go with it.
Ain't no way we gon' forget that.
And your family love me like we family. You know where you stand with me. So when they ask them,
Right now,
this that grown folk music.
You always been a real one, even though we ain't together. Give it real love, and baby you still love.
I hate it, we ain't make it to it.
Probably ain't getting back together. That don't mean that I can't show better. Getting good, but we still good. Brother man, for how about
Man, we love again. No one I can stand you. Yeah,
I don't wanna talk about
get what I know. They don't understand me.
No, you're the only one I can confide to, darling. I don't need
Go with it. Hey. Where them flames at? Look at some flames in the house. Look at some flames in the house.
How you dance my heart, oh darling. Everything I'm telling you, know. I really never had it alone.
Get what?
Never really ain't feeling alone.
Maybe you can take it and feel it.
he want the scoop? She want the deep on no. I can't with this cool. One like the little nigga, go with your move. No cap, I ain't never held bitch. Look at my eyes and eat it up better than you. Not to mention you get wet as a pool. Put me to sleep and then cook me some food. Her face expression say she thinking too hard and I can just tell by the vibe. What's wrong? She wanna fuck with me. I'm knowing she scared. She say she don't want no surprise. Me either ain't nobody business. Soon as she see me, them knees get the bending. Deep stroke. She free one a minute.
Hold on.
Treat it like a pacifier. Put me in your back like you teething. I'm digging in and she using the rose. Gonna fuck around and start breathing. What you want when you hit? Let's ask her, what you doing tonight? What's up? Wait on you. Wherever we at, we be dropping the low. We be telling each other, pull up.
Pull up.
This new situation got me gone. We been at it for a minute, I know it's wrong though. I could just leave alone. I had to double back. I just might lock it down for life. Put her on Super Max. She got that super wet. She got that boomerang. That shit make it come back. Accident, I take something, ended up hour flat. Lost her mind when I had her put it in front of back. Thought she had an asthma.
Get what?
Only been a few nights, but feel like days. Only been days, but feel like months. Been gone for years, feel like months.
Yeah.
Like blue fashion.
I guess
I'm doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What do you want?
It go a little something like this. My new bitch look like having baby.
But she don't love me, she too scared.
My old bitch look like Jackie Brown.
I wanna know if she too down.
Get what? Will you be my leading lady?
I wanna contract down on baby.
In the meantime,
hope you know what you want.
got the body of it. Get what? I see you, girl. Turn up one time. What up, though? In the building. Yeah, we got that new merch just popped out. We got some more coming, too. But we got the BCU socks. Oh, yeah, stitched up real nice. We got the white and the black. And we doing a sale on that. White and the black, that's $22 right there. And we got these here, too. These here gonna match. We got shirts just like these here. And the shirts, they embroidered with the Chanel patch on them, man. With the Big Chief University Chanel patches on them. You feel me? That's how we coming. That's how we dumbing. For the ladies, this for the ladies. We got the BCU slides. We had a BCU slide. Check that out. Yeah. Man, we ain't gonna try to break your bank. And we want your support. So we ain't gonna make it high. We ain't trying to make no, We're gonna make sure y'all right for the summer though. I think these are female sizes as well though. So we have sizes in females ranging from size 7 to size 10, I think. Bigfoot ass. Size 10 for your Bigfoot. And for the men, we have sizes 8 to 12. Size 12. 8 to size 12. You feel me? So you can get in where you fit in, tap in. You did. Divine says you're gonna have to cop some slides. Yeah, we like Amazon. We bring them to your doorstep too. So it is a button you can click and request Big Chief to bring them to you. We do have that belt, that button. I'm sorry. What up, though, man? How y'all feeling, man? It's been going down. It's been getting real political around here. It is politics season. They are trying to elect a new president, and they are upset because they heard that you niggas want to move y'all vote to Republican. And now, Miss Dunn, we don't have a size 5. You have a small feet. Size 5? Now, the largest size we have, it'll be a 7. It'll be a 7 for ladies and 8 for men. 8 or 9. I don't know. I think it's 8 or 9. But I can order some, you know what I'm saying? It's just what I have on me right now. But we can do some pre-orders and get them out here. I'm gonna have some more logos and different ones. I gotta make sure that y'all fucking with them though. But for the socks, I mean, we have hundreds of them, so want to get those gone. And of course, we have America Bloodlines of the Guards and Civilization. For the babies, we have I'm Not Black, I'm Indian. We also have Making of African American, Cherokee Princess of Turtle Island. And we also have paperback, I'm Not Black, I'm Indian. Or you can go, you can go hardcover. I'm Not Black, I'm Indian. The Miseducation of Black Americans. And we have a few more books coming this year. So I'm gonna have to stay on my ass to make sure we get that done because it's overly needed. That part is overly needed. So we got a hibachi lecture, man. We cooking it up on the grill right in front of you. Dig what I mean? Today we're living in a time where, if we gonna be honest, the quote unquote Black American, they are in another fight. What you mean by that? Well, we've been in fights ever since immigration started coming over here, starting with 1619. 1619 brought in an abundance of immigration. It had anything to do, even if you listen to the transatlantic story, even though we know that's not true, the part of the story, what the story was trying to tell us was that these great migrations, it was great migrations that of immigration that came into this country. We'll talk about that in my next lecture, American Bloodlines of the God, Part 6. Well, a lot of immigration came in this country, and who do we see on the front page? At all time, it was niggas. We understand that the 13 colony was built by niggers. I'm sorry. it was created by Negroes. That's something I delve in deep in on the next lecture as well. The people who were in control, who chartered and set at the table for these immigrations. These different immigrations will come over, and that will mark a point in history of the beginning of the United States, which they say United States was built off of immigration. Well, when we look into it, it's going to come from a Protestant standpoint. It's going to come from a Protestant ideology and viewpoint on politics. These are the people that are going to come from the North. As we see Protestantism coming in with the Puritans, 1621, different migrations coming into that sort. We were witnessing a lot of wars. We'll witness what they called colonization, and it'll come from these people in the light of, at that time, it'll be Baptist. And you had the Protestants, you had the Methodists, you had these different sections that'll grow out. One of the largest political parties, largest body that is attached to political parties here would be the church. The church has always played a great role in politics, in the past to present. One of the greatest institutions that would be a vehicle to this would be the AME Church. AME Church would be the first Black denomination here. They also would be the first to come out in this form of civil rights. They also would be the first to come in the form of what they would call today welfare. And one of the things that is missed is that through this immigration, there was different clubs that was created. When we say clubs that was created, these clubs that was created were to basically control, basically set up and assimilate these immigrated bodies into American lifestyle. So you had St. George. For the Irish, you had different sections like these. You also had the Sons of Tammany. Okay, the Sons of Tammany, which was said come from Chief Tammany. And at this point, we don't even know if this guy was a real person. Okay, we don't even know if this was a fictional character or if this was a real person, but it would be Chief Tammany. And In 1758, there'll be a treaty signed. So the politics will start in Jersey. The governmental body up there will be a body called the Hunt and the Seal, who will attack these Indians in Jersey. Well, they will move them to Wyoming, Pennsylvania. When they moved them to Wyoming, Pennsylvania, some mercenaries would come down out of the Delaware regions and so on. And they will unalive the head leader of this Indian band. Well, the politics, the Iroquois will take their land and place them in control of another part of the land. Well, you have the French over in the Great Lakes region. And to prevent them, these people that came out of Jersey from linking up with the French, that was a treaty of Easton, 1758, which would grant them their lands and also create a confederacy that would later become the Sons of Tammany. Through the Sons of Tammany, we see all type of American Indian rituals. You'll see the party of the red men come out of that. You'll see St. Tammany Hall come out of that, i.e. Democratic Party will emerge out of this. Well, we'll see them start to trickle down and want to expand their territories. One thing on their books that will tie them, that they were one of the vehicles that they would use to tie them international and here in the colonies would be Freemasonry. First Freemason house, well, they'll argue with you about that one. Here you got New York, you have New Jersey, you have Boston, Massachusetts, you have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All of these will play crucial roles, as we'll see. The Prince Hall Freemasonry, AME Church, and these different things, they will come out of a secret society of what would be called the Quakers. George Fox, North Carolina, 1680, William Penn will be chartered, and he will get his Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. Well, he is said to met this guy, Chief Tammany. I want y'all to follow me. He would lead a immigration, an organized immigration, Protestants. So when I say that this movement will be started out of Protestants and Protestant mindset, even with Martin Luther, 1517, and the acts that'll be formed here in this colony of Philadelphia. Child, listen, this is very, very important. Again, that would be with Tammany, then we get Tammany Hall, which would be a Democratic Party that would rise even into our times, okay? A lot of corruption and all type of things, but this is where the politics will be driven through. They will be side by side with what's called the Black Church, who will be one of the instrumental pieces to democratic democracy, or pushing these messages, as we will see through out the hibachi lecture that we got served up, you know. But right now, I just really want to talk and focus on today. So Biden, we watched Biden get hands and feet put on him the other day in the debate. My question to the people is, and I'm gonna answer the question because I hate when people get up here and they have a microphone in the audience and they want to ask them the questions when they supposed to be the damn teacher. That's one of my pet peeves, and I just don't understand why niggas do it. So Biden got beat up the other day in front of everybody. Came back the next day, say he had a cold. Brother came back next day, said, nigga, I had a cold. Tell him to line it up again. What was interesting to me is that you have other parties who are running for president, but they were not seen. I mean, they, for the first time in history, they just pushed us out two people, and then we only have two choices, either Trump or Biden. They're not even worried about the Green Party, the Independent Party, or any of these guys, right? We haven't even heard any other candidates that was going to run on the Democratic side. They've already, they put it out there. These niggas are rumbling in June. Biden is spending a lot of time on military bases too. Don't you think that's odd? But the number one supporter who came out, and every time we hear something that's said about a Democrat, we can't unnotice that it's coming from Negroes. Now, when did Negroes' voice become so powerful? If it never was, because if we look at the records, they'll tell us that 1866 you get your 14th Amendment and all this, and you become citizens and all that. Well, if you become a citizen, you can vote. Which they turned around in the 1930s and told us that was the first time niggas couldn't vote at that time. 1960, they come back and tell us we can vote. And guess what party that we're joining? It's the Democratic Party. Somebody came and made up this history, because if we couldn't vote, let me tell you, if niggas couldn't vote until 1960, there would have been no need for Ku Klux Klan. Because the KKK, remember, was created to do what? For political reasons. To scare people away from voting Republican. Okay? Because at that time, many of the indigenous people here were voting Republican. One of the maneuvers that the Democrats had, one of the ideas they had was to, them sit back and they said, well, we'll bring in mass immigration and people that'll be loyal to us and to our party. So this immigration into to America begin. One thing that we have to pay close attention to is the Democrats always have been the people surrounded around this immigration, even through the colonies, as the colonies were chartered. These same people, whether it be the Puritans, the Baptists, and these are the people who are getting the charters. As they get the charters, well, then we'll see loads of migrants come through and stay in that colony. Because we got to remember, where did the immigrants go when they came here? Well, they came to the colonies. So we watch these political factions, and we watch the rise of the black church, who will be the vehicle and instrumental in really leading this force. We don't see the white connection until 1830s, moving up into 1860s, and then the 1880s. These are loads of immigration. Now, like I said, in the 1830s, we see the Indian Removal Act, and we also see Negroes or colored people. We see them coming together and mobilizing, gaining control over not just the colonies, but at this time they're expanding into the South. But as we see mass immigration of indigenous people, we see mass migrations of indigenous people. We see mass migrations of these immigrants as well coming up at the same time in the same time period. We got a Hibachi lecture we're gonna pull up on the screen and we're gonna run through it. Where they come back and tell us that in 2053 that Black Americans will own zero wealth in this country. And it's not hard to see it, because right now niggas are on a fast track. On the fast track to actually this becoming a reality. So when we look up as this becomes a reality in our community, it's right in our face to see that one of the ways that they plan on doing this is this mass immigration. So at this point in this administration that's in the House right now, this administration has actually brought over more immigrants than Ellis Island. Now, when you say that is very, because if you look at quote unquote YT people, if you look at YT people in America today, and you see how many it is, well, a lot of those came through Ellis Island. So when you look at that and you look around, and you can't help but to notice all of these immigrants who are here today. You look at these immigrants who are here today. Well, when the first immigrants came over to Ellis Island, this is when we get racism and this type of conversation. Never before then If you see anything say anything about racism before then, they're MF and lie. It's propaganda which is wrote by a particular side of a party. Because it's been the Dems who've been teaching niggas. It's the Dems who came out with free education. It's the Dems who stood behind the Freedmen's Bureau. It's the Dems. These are Protestant organizations that came in. Okay, the AMA. These are Protestant movements that came in. That's why the AME church was right there with them every step. Very, very important because these type of things go unnoticed because of the representation that's out here on the board, who are not for the best interest of the people. One thing that they always taught Negroes in this country was that Black Americans, so-called Black Americans, did not have any power here, when in fact they had all the power. So answer me this here: when they, what is the true reason for them to tell you that you had absolutely no power? What's the reason for them to come and tell you that you had absolutely no power, and in reality you had all of the power? These forms of immigration we'll see will start after the Civil War, because at that time you got to understand people are migrating from the north and they're bringing the institutions down in the south, a place where institutions were already at and they were already richer than these people in the north. Now, one of the stories they tell you is that it was free labor in the south, so they were richer than the north, and that was the reason for the attack or the so-called Civil War. Well, it was institutions already down here, so the north wanted to bring in their institutions. Now they took over the schools that were already in play down here, Tuskegee and things of this nature here being top schools down here already. Well, they wanted to sway the politics in that way because at that time they had absolutely no win, in politics, because they were outnumbered, and a lot of people that they were needed the politics to lay down laws and these codes so they can enact these codes so they can basically legally enslave a person here. And labor was the number one key. So they came down, they had Negro conventions starting in 1830, and they walked them down. They would have them in Alabama, Arkansas, these different newly states down here, at that time, Indian Territory, because Arkansas, Oklahoma, Northern Texas, these different parts, they were considered Indian Territory at the time. Hey, y'all, make sure we're on the likes. Make sure we're on the likes, family. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up, coming to rock out with the kid. Make sure we're sharing the video out, man. Make sure we're on Twitter. Make sure we're on Instagrams. Make sure we're on Facebook group. Make sure we're on TikTok, man. Let the people know we live. And it's going down. So I'm gonna pull out the PowerPoint. Got a hibachi grill. We're gonna 1-2 step. But want to just run through some information, because when we see anytime that the Dems are in trouble, the only people can save them are color folk. Only people can save them color folk. That's what it look like. That's what it's really, really looking like right now. And so right now, where are the YT people that are rallying behind Biden? I mean, you got the NAACP, you got the Black Caucus, you have all of these people who are rallying behind them. Now, mind you, this here, the reason why Biden's even in office is because a lot of them, they didn't really need to vote. They just needed to look like that color folk was going to vote for them. And they were going to take care of the rest, because they needed an excuse on where they're getting all these points. It's no different than these people who running around here putting bots in the chat. You feel me? All we got to do is make it look like it's, and then we can go for our move in the bag. It's smoke and mirrors. And this is a political tool. Putting bots in the chat is political as well, because you are trying to show the people something that is not true. And people that do these type of things have no respect for the people, because if I have to trick you into coming in here and listening to my message, and one of the ways to make you think that is that I have, multiple people or gangs of people, a large body of people listening at one time, what you are coming into is really smoke and mirrors, right? This some Houdini shit. And that's what politics is about. Smoke and mirrors. How do people think they're looking at one thing when it's actually something else taking place? Now, anybody that'll do that to the people has a hidden agenda, because obviously they haven't came out with their true intentions on what they're doing. So it's all politics. So what they was gonna do is, again, like bots in the chat, they were gonna make the numbers, they was gonna blow the numbers up as if they really had something going on or really had people rocking with them, right? Well, they use Kamala and HBCUs, and they use the fraternities and a lot of people, a lot of our women, because women are the direct target, even though they brought a class in that you had to rival. So they told you that, well, women have the most highest degrees in America, but they didn't tell you that they were categorized in those that came through the DACA program, which was a program that the Obama administration put in place. They didn't tell you that a lot of those people that are throwing up the pinkies now are actually first and second generation. Check. They didn't let us know that these were first and second generation people that are also in this. They tell us that more black women are in medical field. They didn't tell you that a lot of those people coming, they were adding the numbers of the Haitians, the Africans, and so on and so forth. So as they pad the numbers and then they come back and tell us that quote unquote Black America are in a better place today, they're not disclosing that these numbers are blew up. Because if we're gonna talk about the original indigenous people here, well, they must keep them in a certain class, but in a certain class system. That's no different than as they brought over the YT people from Europe, Ellis Island. Well, they made the color folk here, they made us fight each other. For what? For jobs. These are when the unions came about. And these unions were saying, well, they're going to have to pay you for your food, your meal for the day, and they're going to have to pay you for your labor. Okay? It was $1.75 if they were going to feed you. And I think it was $1, it was 85 cents to $1.25 if they were not going to feed you. These were some of the politics that were put in place through the unions. But as a lot of these people got into the unions, then they were better controlled, as we seen with the mafia, the Italian mafia, the Irish mafia, these things here. Well, they would control the unions at that time. If y'all ever heard of a guy named Matt Hoffa, these different unions and that was created. Lucky Luciano and the border, the docks, and the worker of these immigrants that was coming in, different things of this nature. Well, niggas had to compete. And as they competed, they took them into a certain class. Later, they came with, in the 60s, they had a movement called the Chicano movement. The Chicano, the East LA riots, the walkouts, where they end up walking out or whatever. Well, then this Chicano, they were starting to be built up. And we will see in different places where they're predominant, i.e. Texas, Arizona, the West, the Southwest. Well, these things were, when I was coming up in school, they would tell us that later in the future, you guys will have to learn, you have to be bilingual. And these were the teachers that tell us, you're going to have to be bilingual because they are planning on bringing in a lot of more Mexicans here. And you guys are going to have to compete. So the jobs, you have to be bilingual to get certain jobs. Well, then they made you compete with jobs with the Mexicans. Well, they came in the 60s and civil rights and they said, we want to be paid. We're being underpaid. Well, instead of raising it up, they brought in a new labor class. Check. Instead of raising minimum wage, because in the 1990s, minimum wage was what, $3.25? Minimum wage went up to what, $6.75? And then Texas minimum wage, I think, is $7.25 still to this day. $7.25 an hour. Still to this day. And so instead of raising it, why would I raise it when I have another immigration population here who would do what? They would work for half the price. That's what we were always told, right? Mexicans would, y'all are lazy. Mexicans would do it for half the price. Check. So after a certain time period, now Mexicans are homeowners. Mexicans have business, they're business owners, they're homeowners. And a lot of them switched on the Democrats and they ended up going Republic. Well, now they moved in other bodies of immigrants. And now you're going to have to compete with these immigrants. They're not going to escalate the quote unquote Black America or the Black population into a different political, social class here, or political or working class, right? One thing we have to understand is the reason for immigration was to replace us. And so that's why we'll constantly have to fight these different immigrations through these different immigrant bodies that are being brought through here. And we can look through the test of time, the creation of the United States, and see this is a method that they had used. Well, in the 1860s, after the Civil War, we're going to see them use another technique, which they would start in Texas, with over this immigration population to tilt the vote, the politics, to have a voice, to have a platform, to get your guy in place, and then we can change. All of these type of things is what happened here. Today, we are the least political educated. We're the least financial educated. Hell, we're the least educated. These things were done by design. So every election time, we hear someone say, well, what do they have in there? What do y'all have for the black vote? What type of message or what do y'all have in there for the black vote? Well, they have absolutely nothing, because it never changed. The politics that they have for the black vote, they already laid it out. And they cannot afford to move you into a different working class, because then there's no one to compete. If they were going to move you to a different working class, they would have to move you up into the middle class. And the Obama and Clinton era, well, middle class was destroyed. And it's either you poor or you are in the upper echelon, where you're making $160,000 a year as a household. Anything under $160,000 a year, well, you'll be considered living in poverty, because they cannot, for the life of them, understand how you can live on such a low budget. They blow that on coke and in the strip club. Do you hear me, fam? And on drinks. So when we look up and these black politicians out here playing games, we must understand that we can't listen to them. They can't be a proper representation when they don't even come from the same class system as us. It hasn't been a so-called Black American that has come before us and actually have a message directly for us. Now, they always put a new face up there. It's a lady running around Texas right now, swearing to God she finna do A, B, and C, and it's politics time. She running around with Cornel West. And goddamn, the black community already don't want no vote points in him. So when you show up with him, we already understand what's at stake. And every time that they come, we know who sent them. They're in representation of the Dems, whether it's the black church singing Kumbaya, Roland Martin said at the church when all them people in line to go vote for Biden, and this nigga out there crying, listening to a gospel hymn. These are the type of things. And then when we look at each other, when we look at our community and our representation, what a lot of people don't understand is it'll feel like, well, they went through college, they went through school, and they were able to get this good job and come here in representation. And I'm going to tell you, America is a country that was built off of families. The United States was built off of families. If you're not in these families, then you will not get to sit in these seats. The people that are sitting in these seats have these seats for lifetime. Career politicians. And they hold these seats for a long time. And if they do so, our conditions never change. That is not by and no. Because they come back and they still have a job. The way that colored folk in the country today are caping for Biden, it makes no sense. They don't even want to represent. They just want a job. They want a place in it. Whenever the Dems get in trouble, guess who comes out? I remember when Como had trouble. New York. Y'all remember this here during the 2020 era. Como, he got into some trouble. You know what he did? He went around the corner and he went to the black church. And he came back with all those black pastors out of New York with the perms and slick down. And they were old. They were in their 80s. I'm talking about he come back with all these elderly men back in their 80s. And when they came out there and they spoke, he didn't have any trouble after that. You know what they told me? Hold on. These Negroes got more power than they out here because they don't even front line. You don't even get to see them. Check. A lot of those guys that came out that day, that was out there with them, you don't see them. Today, who came out, who been caping hard? Clyburn, South Carolina. Clyburn, he run it. He's hosted every Democratic presidential guy on the presidential race. He's hosted all of them. He throw the fish fries down in South Carolina, the big cookouts down there. And everyone who has to get elected has to come down there and sit at his table. Do you know what that tell me? Because you got to understand, when you're going through these 13 colonies, there were black families who sat at the table, came in the Confederacies and created this. So when we see this white representation, well, we know this white representation was brought over here by Protestants / will become Democrats. You're talking about people who have been running this party since Tammany Hall. You're talking about families who are still embedded in these towns, embedded into these politics, and they're faceless. They're faceless until one of their puppets, right? One of their puppets. Only time we see them is during election time, or if someone get in trouble. Their candidates in trouble, well, here they come. Because Clyburn came out today and said, don't look at how they look, listen to his message. These type of things, these people have a lot of influence on people because they have been there for so long. Not only them, but their families. And I want to tell you that these YT people and these YT families do not have more power than these guys. When you're talking about these buildings that they're using, well, when they go in there, and I ain't talking about on the top floors, I'm talking about underground, where you gotta be initiated to go. When they're talking in those spaces, homie, it's no one bigger or badder than them. When Trump said that niggas need to do their history in America, he's telling you that there's a hidden hand. What he was calling it, the secret government or some shit like that. There's a secret hand behind it. When you're talking about America, homie, we don't go this long, right? You don't go this long, homie, without having the representation of these niggas. When you think about your army, when you think about all these, they'll tell you about all these high-ranking guys, right? But they'll make them a private or something, right? And the whole time, these guys are ushered in and their bloodline so prominent, homie. You got to watch how you talk to him. You may not ever get to meet him. But these are the people that are calling the shots. It's so easy to see because we know the Ku Klux Klan first started off, they was niggas. And then through the immigration to Ellis Island, we see the return of the Ku Klux Klan party. And now they're white men who's settled here through immigration, who had to be coached up by these hidden hands. The Democrat Party is secretly ran by niggas. Somebody say, well, if that's the case, Chief, then why they not passing any laws for us? You gotta understand the Democrat Party feel like they own niggas. What Biden say? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. They created them. Political movement called the civil rights. Created them. Created this class system because you gotta understand, niggas didn't roll over the Democratic Party heavily until 1960, until what? The civil rights era. And ever since they have owned them, all the way up to what is 92% now Democrat, 92% niggas in America Democrat. These are things that shouldn't go unnoticed because it's like, why are we so gullible? And you will have woke people, and you got to watch it because these representations that's out here, we've had people come out here say they want to sue the government. ADO is. We had people, we're so politically uneducated. The only form of politics that niggas have been showed was how to peaceful protest. That's it. And niggas were only when it's time to rile up and do some political shit, all these niggas know how to do is peaceful protest. You know how many people believed in the story that Trump was this bad guy and this racist nigga and against niggas when his partner literally called niggas. Come on, somebody. When he really came out with the drug bill, 1994 crime bill, he said he needed a cop on every block and supported mass incarceration and uprising of private prisons. And then he came back and he said these people need to be taken off the street, even though we created them. Even though we created them. You know, call them predators. But we've been conditioned by propaganda to believe that the other. Now, we're not saying that no one is better than the other, you know. But what we're saying is niggas are being used as a pawn. And then people that are so-called black leaders, they're coming out here and tell you vote don't even matter. When we go back to the origins of the Klan, which was to stop niggas from voting. So if your vote didn't matter, then it would never been a Ku Klux. It would have never been a KKK. It would have never been a KKK if your vote didn't matter. These type of things right here goes unnoticed when we say this black identity. And I understand why a lot of people are attached to it and don't want to let it go. And it's like, it's something that a nigga not saying let go or nothing. But what we're saying is we need to be more educated. Because every time we want some goddamn remedy in politics, we shouldn't be coming out here talking about reparations against $1. Nowhere else votes like that. Everyone else put their own money up. But there are institutions that are created that are out in the forefront who actually are gatekeeping these. Everyone you see there in representation for you politically has been there for a while and has been appointed, not by you, but by the... Come on, somebody. And so whenever you see people come out here on YouTube with a political message, I wouldn't give a fuck. If it were black folks, you ain't got to worry about the Hebrew Israelites because they under 501c3. So you don't have to worry about organizations like them coming out and saying these type of things because they're under 501c3. Anybody under 501c3, well, you're compromised. Because basically what you're saying is I'm signing up to be a part of the U.S. government. Okay? I am signing up to come into... It's nothing. You'll never be sovereign. They will control your affairs. They will audit your ass to see where the funds are going. And it's a deal. It's a charter that they're giving you to operate in their jurisdiction under X, Y, and Z. So you're totally compromised. That's why when we look at the Native Americans, they be talking all that shit. When they wanted to run a pipeline through there, nigga, you don't own nothing and go read your contract under your 501c3. You ain't got no business saying nothing to me, homie, because you already came to me and said, I am willing to lay up under you and be your hoe. Period. I am willing to walk side by side with you, join the military, put up religious organization here. I am willing to do all these things that you are asking for me, all these things that are qualify me to actually get the 501c3 status. So that's why they lay out you a plan to follow X, Y, and Z. And the Native Americans have agreed to all of these things, which will make you a wardsmanship of the state, which will put your lands in trust, in U.S. trust. These are things. Well, that was the whole reason of the reorganization, and that was the whole reason of the paperwork. You are not to be out here talking about political matters, and you feel me? You are not allowed to out here. You can. That goes for the church and everything. Remember, Kennedy, one of his argument was to separate state and church. The Constitution separates state and church. Through these organizations, these churches have been political tools to sway. Okay, you have a audience, you have a body or members. Well, put in a good word for me, fam, because you must remember you are now an ally to the United States government when you sign up under these corporations. And so when you look at Native Americans, guess what? Native Americans are out there voting Democratic or Republican. A fact. And a lot of the money and a lot of the funding is coming through the Democratic Party, these Protestants. How do we know that? Well, when you look at the religious organizations that they choose to side with, it's going to be Protestant, Methodist, or Presbyterian. Okay, on these reservations, on these regs, Protestant, Methodist, or Presbyterian. These are the organizations that'll be not so much Catholic and things of that nature. So when we see these things happening, then we understand that this is coming from what they call the left. I mean, it's simple math. So there's no sovereignty in it. It's actually an allegiance and no remedy for the people. Actually, there's no remedy in it unless your goal is to ally and help, push colonization, for a small fee. Yeah, unless you're trying to get elected. You're trying to get elected. But with this whole situation of 2053, Black Americans are on zero wealth here. These immigrants that are coming in, well, guess what? Black folks been here the longest, and they've been having to fight every war against every immigrant that was here for status. Well, they've already zoned you through red line, all this here, and they have zoned you through these zip codes in certain areas. That means education. That means resources. That means work class. Well, as these immigrants come, they're gonna fall in the same class that you're in, and they cannot move you because they already have you zoned there. And the area that they had you zoned to, where they came in and gentrified them, and they put a lot of the immigrants there. That's why a lot of the Mexicans at one point stayed in proximities of old projects that colored folk lived in. And now they're moving the immigrants in, and they're bringing the immigrants in and putting them under a different class group as you, because they don't even want y'all intermixing. So they're coming on things that'll benefit them, whether it be schooling, whether it be fast track the citizenship, so they can actually go in, and whether it be military, these different things. But they're moving them to a different class system than you, because they already have a class system set out for you. So when they come on election year and they say, well, what type of black plan do you have? There is no, and there's never a black plan, because the black plan has already been set in place. It's already been set in place. And the representation has been so poor, man. We have yet to see people, and this is what burns me up, homie. Hey, y'all, get the likes up, family. Get the likes up. We got 295. Why my likes ain't up? Get the likes up. And it burned me up, the fact that as color folk sitting on their hand, as we're in the age of social media, and there's so many people who want to be heard, who want an audience, and don't have the message that the people really need in this time, in this era that we're in. This is not just about showing up. Either you have a message that can combat what's actually taking place in this generation and the generations to come, because we're on our way out as a people. We are on our way out as a people. And then everybody want to jump up here and grab a microphone and have no substance. It's so many people in the black community where they've been reduced down. You can maybe count their people with microphones. You look in these other denominations and things like this, Hebrews telling you that the world finna end, and that, you know, YT people are gonna fall from grace. Their time is over with. But it's no effort that's being put in to help the process speed up. You even have American Indians and Aboriginals, and most of the people that have channels out of American Aboriginals and Indians, they got they chats from other people. Other people help them get their following and their people. And we've seen absolutely nobody, not one person, take what someone gave them and goddamn reach out to a bigger audience or bring in other people on their own. We've never seen it from not one content creator that came from this side. And it's a lot of people when they say, well, you need to be better than the ones that came before you. You need to add something on to it. A lot of these people are not adding on. So it was like, what was the point of somebody even bringing you in and letting you inherit their chat or giving you a voice to the people if you just gonna remain a local nigga? What it's saying is no one has been able to transcend or reach out to have a message that influence the people or bring people in outside of what they was given in the first place. So what it says is that type of representation, if you are not going to be productive, then what the fuck is you here for? Because this is the most crucial time that we have right now. It's so many, nigga, we need the best of the best. We don't need no average ass nigga who somebody had to give something to, and you couldn't even make nothing out of that. You look like a Native American. The U.S. and gave the natives all the Plain Janes, all of this shit here, and they was able to do nothing with it. And that's the type of representation, and they haven't been able to move out of the class that they in because of their representation has not been good enough. We're not going to sit here and say that the Black American representation has been good enough. Actually, it's been great because them niggas have done everything that they have been sent to do. Keep rock niggas to sleep as they push their play, as they disguise themselves as a victim, as they disguise themselves. What Obama said, he didn't do nothing for niggas because he didn't have the political power, when that's a motherfucking lie. But their job is to play weak, is to play lay down, is to play inferior, play like someone else is over them and controlling them. So now this the wrong motherfucking time, man, to be having some motherfuckers who ain't good enough, and we steady bringing them in, steady recycling them, giving them chance after chance, and the motherfucker just ain't good enough, homie. How long do it take for your message? And listen, most motherfuckers been out longer than me. How long do it take? Nigga, I was able to come in and go get my message out. I can go to any community and pull up. Niggas know me. Niggas inherited me. Niggas gonna respect my game. Niggas know how I put it down. You feel me? And I've been able to transcend and get my message off to other communities out here who not even rocking on our side. And I'm trying to feel like, where's the help? Nigga, we in the most crucial time and we not even the number one content creator. We don't even have a number one message. It is insane. And then half the motherfuckers that's on the list, on the roster, somebody gave them everything that they have. Motherfucker ain't never been able to flip one into two. Let's start there. Listen, this nigga, we on our way out. Motherfuckers want subscribers, motherfuckers want likes, motherfuckers want people to come listen to them, but don't even have a message that can help them. That is insane, homie. You don't even have nothing that can help. You want to be known as a motherfucking scholar. Nigga, scholarship, that scholarship is played out. We need motherfucking real solutions that we can tap in with the people. We need real solutions where we can organize, and not for motherfuckers just want to run some shit or want to have their name or want to be present on it, homie. It's too many things to do. You can be good at other shit that you're good at. But the message, obviously motherfuckers ain't good. They haven't been able to get outside of the community. And so if we was to call our hands on deck, it's too many motherfuckers that fall out. They fell out already. Too much messy shit, dry messy shit happen. Niggas will get on some messy shit just on the cool because they bored. And how in the fuck we gonna win when this type of mentalities are around? When these type of evil spirits are lurking? So what it look like is niggas are really on their way out. Niggas are on their last leg. And it's looking like we're about to lose the goddamn match. We got to find better motherfucking ways to do this other than sit around and play the political game. Niggas still want to get in the political game as if they going to beat the U.S. government. And this ain't about being no motherfucking scared. This ain't about not knowing a nigga, you ain't got enough money to whoop the U.S. government. That's what it's about. You got other nations out there who got more money than you, and they can't whoop them. It's going to have to be done in a different way. But again, we are the most politically uneducated. We're the most financial uneducated. I mean, we get pimped around, used for our vote. They come with propaganda and emotion with everything they do about us, victimhood with everything they do about us. When these folks who are sitting there in representation, who's telling all these victim stories, has never lived the life of a nigga who is going to get victimized. They made it about skin color, and then when they put all the goddamn immigrants in here, all your representation on TV is coming from an immigrant party. And they ain't said nothing nice about you. So why is reparations a conversation? Everybody coming here, they're setting them up and putting them on it. Why is reparations a conversation unless these niggas are paid for and they're used to come bring out this information, which is keeping niggas stagnant. If we was talking about this last administration, then goddamn, we need something else to bring to the board. The next, come on, fam, because what we are seeing is the Dems ran the same play last year. When they're coming back now, what they're doing? Oh, he lied to us. Look how he mishandled the 2020. He had immigrants in cages, and they're using shit they lose. That's why are we doing that, fam? This shit is unbelievable to me, because for a motherfucker to lay out a plan for you, this is how I'm gonna attack these people, and for you to have no answer, because right now all of these people that has a microphone are supposed to be on the front line organizing, and can't organize because niggas can't stay out of messy shit with each other. How the fuck you gonna organize and you trying to kill the next nigga on side of you that's supposed to be your ally? But when niggas get a relationship with the American government, you think they finna go in there with that shit? Hell nah. They finna shut the fuck up and listen and abide and be a good slave, a good citizen, and a good puppet to whatever these folks want to do. Because really, deep down, that's a lot of niggas' admiration. Whether you look through the Freedmen and all of these niggas dressing up in suits and all this shit, he'll want to go stand on Capitol Hill and get their picture taken in hopes that one day, nigga, they can walk in there with a key card and clock in and do the work of these people, because they said if you can't beat them, homie, then you might as well join them. And a lot of people want to join them, and a lot of people are in your communities want to join them. And guess what? Niggas lay up under them motherfuckers. There's many niggas running behind them Freedmen and all of that. And we just seen Newsom down there riding for Biden, so we know where the politics are going. They're not giving nothing. They just want to vote. They ain't got shit for niggas. They're putting mass immigration on niggas. The same niggas that they're voting, that y'all are voting for, the same ones that are open to these different parties. You had Sheila Jackson Lee down there telling niggas, go on, sign up on this Indian shit. Go get y'all Indian argument together and bring it to me. But they're getting all these people with all these records and all of these real claims. And then these people, they're going to wait them out. So what's clear is that it has to be other methods being taken than what has been brought forward. And for people to want to lay on the internet and have a voice and want somebody to watch their ass, they should have a motherfucking message that can combat it. It shouldn't be one person. It shouldn't be two people. It should be a group or a collective. And those who are not with it, then we see their intentions. And it's hard to even bring everybody there around the conversation because you don't even know who working for the damn people. Because a lot of motherfuckers' message and a lot of motherfuckers' mission is really to get close as they can to these people so they can become a part of this U.S. organization. And so now this is real shit, nigga. It's never gonna be a movement on the board, nigga, and agents are not present, nigga. So when you look at that's what the internet was for. It was social experiments. You put people in there, you know, those apps tell you, well, we're recording all these conversations, and they won't get niggas in there to have think tanks and tell what's their moves and, you know, and they're recording and they're listening and then they come back and counter it. And then a new nigga pop up on the internet and he come with a message to counter it. And all, you know, these niggas come out of nowhere and they getting all these views and they're being backed and their message sound like a revolutionary message when we ain't never seen one revolutionary movement win. And all the revolutionary movements we seen was being funded by these guys. Come on, somebody. And so why you think it ain't going down today? How you know you ain't watching the motherfucker who compromised and who ain't got the best interest for you? How do you know that? How do you know that? It's so because right now it like this Indian Aboriginal shit ain't even real. Most of the content creators have never even showed the people how they connect back to any Indians. That should have been strike one. How the fuck I'm listening to an Indian movement and the nigga I'm listening to ain't never showed me where they fit in the story as an Indian. Never. So anybody can walk in here and do that because there's no consequences to it. There's no consequences to it. Nigga, is impossible for 95% of the people in the community that's out here with a microphone and a voice have never showed the community how they tie into the story as a goddamn Indian, nigga. But niggas are still listening to them and looking for an Indian remedy or Indian conversation. Come on, my nigga. When a motherfucker show you who they is, why you not believing them? When the DM show you who they are, why niggas haven't been believing them? And then you turn around and you ain't got shit. You ain't moved out the same place. And every immigrant, nigga, they can just get here out the boat, nigga. This is now your new rival. Because your class system has never moved. Everyone else's have moved. The Mexicans have moved to a different class system than niggas. Mexicans are in different infrastructure. When it's time for them to bid on a project, nigga, they are only bidding against Mexicans. It was a time where they were bidding against niggas when it was time to build a freeway, a highway, houses, a neighborhood, where they're called niggas, and then niggas started having to compete with the Mexican, and now today is all Mexican. You look, these bridges, these highways, these neighborhoods, whenever it's building, well, nigga, you have been replaced where it's new immigrants coming in now. They not too handy in skilled labor, but you're not even on the docket anymore. In the big time, you know, then they got the white boys, they got the YT boys out there, and then they'll fund them, and then they'll fund, you know, the X amount of Mexican help. So what the fuck we doing in the most crucial time, nigga? It is not time to be listening to no mediocre motherfuckers who haven't showed themselves in anything that they're trying to stand on. How can a nigga bring you into something and they ain't even showed you that they're there? What is wrong with niggas, man? How we keep letting niggas come take advantage of us, and we'll let any nigga come out here and talk to us. We'll let any motherfucker come out here and just say some fly shit, and we down with it. And the motherfucker haven't even proven themselves to be, come on, man. It's madness at this point. And it's unaccepted. It's unacceptable, man, because when we look up and why we're in this condition, because we've been listening to motherfuckers who grab microphones, homie. These motherfuckers with these microphones and these messages that came out here and fucked up niggas line of thinking, man, the direction, and set it on something that was not beneficial for them. And then you got motherfuckers today, they don't need, come on, fam. If people have messages haven't been able to go further than their community, then why are you even entertaining them? Obviously, this motherfucker ain't good enough, because if you was that nigga, you was the shit, then you would have transcended communities, homie. Other motherfuckers would have knew about you other than the niggas that frequent the chat. You feel me? Niggas can play like motherfuckers, man. You look around, there's so many Motherfucker got ballooned up numbers way over Top Cat. But when you look up, Top Cat probably one of the only niggas that goddamn motherfuckers know outside of the community. And I get the less views, I got the less subscribers. But I'm one of the only niggas that motherfuckers outside of the community actually know. Tell me what's going on. Somebody tell me what's going on. Nigga, how in the fuck, nigga, I can go anywhere and niggas know who I am. And motherfuckers with more subscribers, more motherfuckers in the chat, nobody never heard of that ass outside of the community. So tell me what's going on. Man, we're in the time, homie, where all the bullshit has to be ceased. You feel me? And the real has to stand up. And the real has to stand up, homie. For we fuck around and be getting infiltrated out here. Nigga, why you think, nigga, right now you can't go nowhere and ain't nobody talking about no Indian Aboriginal shit. You can't go nowhere. So why wouldn't people want to infiltrate that? Guaranteed you 100% without a shadow of a doubt is motherfuckers who are agent, who have microphones and people are listening to. I don't give a fuck what each platform they're there. That's why I never came out, man. Fuck politics, nigga. We not doing no politics, nigga. We not fucking with no politics. It ain't about being scared. First off, a lot of the things these political messages are asking for, nigga, you can go do that on your own. Like I say, nigga, we don't go back to tribes, nigga. These tribes are corporations, nigga. If you ain't create the corporation, nigga, we don't go back to these motherfucking tribes, nigga. We go back to our surnames. And a lot of times in there dealing with these surnames, I don't know, my story not like everybody else, but ain't nobody never took a motherfucking thing from my family, nigga. We always been lowest landowners, nigga. And the lands that's not in the family, nigga, that have been sold. The lands that are in the motherfucking family, nigga, are still there, nigga. So I don't know what is this whole prisoner of war shit and all that, nigga. And the nigga can't tell you what war that it happened in. I'm sick of a lot of shit, honestly. I'm sick of made up shit. I'm sick of victimhood shit, my nigga. And you don't even have your whole story on your family. Figure that part out, then you'll find out where you at in the story. Then you can figure what remedy works for you. As simple as that. Motherfucker come out here and give you a slave narrative just without the slave on it. Nigga, then, you know, nigga, fix your plate a different way. Nigga, just don't put the slave on it, but it's the same mentality. It's the same condition that is going to break you down. You're going to fall in the same motherfucking class group. This shit is over and over and over and over again. And like I say, since there was no people to come right on this subject and shit, a lot of niggas are forced to make shit up. If we gonna be real, they're making a lot of it up. So fuck a political message, nigga. We don't need no political message, nigga. We need a financial message though, nigga, where we can get our own fucking money, nigga, and go back to our families, nigga, and incorporate our families if that's something that we want to do. Because those options are there, nigga. Nigga, we don't need all the other shit. Reparations, nigga, we don't need no motherfucking reparation. And I'm tired of niggas talking about, you know, getting together, building small home communities and all that when niggas living in mansions. Fuck do we look like? Why we gotta be the only niggas to settle for less, nigga? When other motherfuckers around here living on ranches and 100 acres and living in motherfucking mansions and guest houses and we want a motherfucking small house, nigga. How small have our minds come, nigga? Well, nigga, we can't dream big no more like our ancestors, nigga. The fuck is we walking around here, nigga, want to look a small home for a nigga with a bunch of motherfuckers living on a nigga who we look like some Amish motherfuckers or something, nigga. Who we look like, nigga, the immigrants that's coming over. Trump say they living in luxury hotel, nigga. What the fuck? We gonna go get a small house? The hell? Nigga, if nigga don't start instilling greatness back into these people, man, instead of putting them in goddamn survival mode, desperation mode, man, and victimhood, willing to accept whatever motherfucker give them. No, nigga, we shooting for the moon. We want the best because we are the best. This the shit you got to put in people and then take steps. We not here to give no motherfucking remedy for nobody or hold their hand to go do it for them. We want motherfucking soldiers on the front line where everyone is accountable for themselves. This ain't no, oh, we all get together as a group and solve it now. Nigga, this shit you go talk to your family about and y'all see the best remedy that works for y'all, because a lot of the things that's on the paper, on your paper, may not be on the next person's paper. So you handle it individually. All this generalizing shit was created by the government to control us in the mass. So niggas who bringing these messages out, why your shit sound like they shit sound? That's what I'm trying to find out. It's crazy. Man, let me get over here to my other station, man. Hold up, before we do that, man. We got the BCU merch. We got that BCU merch. Hold up. Yeah, that's how we coming, man. Stitched in. All embroidery. All embroidery. Yeah, them gonna be on the BCU site tonight. And they shipping out this week. Nah, fuck that, nigga. We deserve better, nigga. We want better. We want better, bro. Ladies, I got something for y'all too, ladies. Got something for y'all too, ladies. And fellas, we got these colors in, but we got the other colors coming as well. And then we're gonna get them Jaguars. I gotta see if people gonna support and get them though. And then I get more, you feel me? Hold up, let me transfer my station, get on a different computer. Hey, let's get the lights up. We about to turn up. All right, we got a hibachi lecture. We cooking it up. We cooking it up on the spoon. We cooking it up on the spoon. If y'all see somebody trolling in the comments, y'all shoot his ass. I ain't talking about 30 seconds neither. I'm talking about blow him to smithereens. I'm talking about blow him to smithereens. Don't let nobody make it. We ain't playing with nobody. Yeah, we finna cook it up, Neezy Warrior, hibachi style. We about to cook it up hibachi style. I'm getting my grease ready. Yeah. We getting the grease ready. Okay, we're gonna start down here with the Trail of Tears. So we're gonna walk through some of the things that I was saying. We want to put it on the screen. We make it real. and make it real. And this is why we're in desperate need for people. Hold on. Let me put my mic up. Mic check. Okay. All right, where we going with it first, Chief? Well, we're gonna start in 1830. 1830, where they had what was called the Indian Removal Act. From 1830, this is a large body. These are these migrations. Every time there was a migration that took place, we're going to see immigration take place. Every time a migration take place, hey, don't worry about it. Why is y'all still talking about it, folks, man? If that nigga in here tripping, get that nigga up out of here, bro. Why is niggas so quick to know about the bullshit? When all that bullshit was going on this weekend, I'm trying to figure out why niggas with Jaguars was up around that shit anyway. We ain't got nothing to do with other folks' business, and we don't need nobody putting us in nothing they got going on. You feel me? So that type of shit we don't even entertain, because that's the type of shit we don't even go through that over here. You'll never see us out here looking like that, ever. That's something we pride ourselves on, so we ain't got nothing to do with that type of shit. We got real shit going on. It's unfortunate. We do not condone messy shit. We do not condone beef. We do not condone dividing community or putting shit. Motherfuckers out here go through enough for somebody to be bringing them bullshit. You feel me? Niggas already on their last leg on this Indian Aboriginal shit anyway. The content is not good enough. It's way other people in other genres have way better shit going on, live shit going on. So to let people see niggas act like niggas, you know what I mean? You just really, why would the people show back up the next day? You feel me? Nah, bro, you don't do that. And niggas from over here don't go be a part of that, don't even be seen around the type of shit, because we don't condone it. And we not trying to be brought into nothing. Because that's how a motherfucker see you and just automatically include a nigga in it. Or a nigga might give an opinion, and nigga, now we in it. And that's not what we trying to promote. We trying to promote healthy relationships. We trying to promote community building. We trying to promote greatness. You feel me? Goddamn, morals and principles, homie. We laugh and we get up, we do all of that, but see, we cry and we smile together as well. And so now, man, we not in it. We not with it. It's unfortunate. You feel me? And we don't condone it. And I hope, people figure it out for the best. And that's the only thing we got to say about that bullshit, because that shit is embarrassing. Turtle Island with a 3 from the top of the key. That shit is embarrassing, and nigga, it ain't no way, shape, or form that type of shit need to be going on in front of no damn people. Dog say, what happened? Man, I don't know. Some shit happened in the Aboriginal community. That's all I heard. They done blew the car up again. I don't know, man. Hopefully they get it together. They do that shit a couple times out the year. I'm just like, goddamn, numbers are dropping. Motherfuckers are not interested. Niggas, and the best motherfucker come up with is some beef, messy shit too. Like, again, I pray to the ancestors that they get it together, man, because it's not a good look. All right. Definitely not at this time. There's too many people out here that's ride with the Indian Aboriginal message, and they're doing what they can to do to push it. These type of things, and they having their differences. You feel me? I'm seeing that they having their differences as well. And so it look bad when you look all around, and a lot of them look over here for guidance, and you know what I'm saying? Which way do we go next? You feel me? And for them to see that is just bad business, man. But anyway, moving on. And I couldn't fathom why anybody would go lay up under that shit. You feel me? Motherfucker ain't got but one time to show you who they are. Anyway, between 1830 and 1850, about 100,000 American Indians living between Michigan, Louisiana, Florida moved west after the U.S. government treaties used the United States against those resisting. Many treated brutally, estimated about 3,500 Creeks died in Alabama. And that's BS. But 1830 will witness a large migration. Well, also around that time, you had immigration coming in. Check. Whenever you see the large migrations, you're going to end up seeing the large immigration. So from the 1820s and 1840s, approximately 90% of immigrants to the United States came from Ireland, England, or Germany. Among these groups, the Irish were by far the largest. In 1820, nearly 60,000 Irish immigrated to the United States. In 1830, the largest number grew to 235,000. And in 1840, due to the potato famine in Ireland, numbers of immigrants skyrocketed to 845,000. So they'll use this potato famine to move over these Irish immigrants. The Great Irish Famine, as it became known, resulted from 5-year blight that turned potato crops black between 1845 and 50. 1 million Irish died of starvation. 2 million fled the country. So we're going to get a large influx of them. Now, remember, this potato is coming. The potato famine is going to come from the Americas. Now, when America despised the Irish, forced from their homelands because of famine and what political upheaval, the Irish endured discrimination before making their way well to the Americas. All right. This 1830, every large migration of indigenous people will turn into a large immigration. So they're making room for this immigration. Refugees seeking haven in America were poor, disease-ridden, that threatened to take jobs away from Americans and strain welfare budgets. They practiced alien religion and pledged allegiance to forebear leaders. $2 million. They brought in $2 million, they say, under what they called the potato famine. They walk. They get the likes of in 1847, 14 years after their long, sad march along the Trail of Tears, Choctaw people in Oklahoma learned of the Irish famine. With great empathy, Choctaw individuals made donations totaling $170, the equivalent of several $1,000s, for the relief of Irish poor. So this Irish, we know about the Scotland connection, but we'll see the Choctaw connection. Let's walk. So this right here is actually coming from the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Okay. Choctaw and Irish history. Two ancient people, a modern day connection. Nothing about Choctaw except the ocean. Both Choctaw and Ireland were affected, colonized by powers. The ancient tongues almost became extinct and rescued. The relationship began in 1847 when Choctaws, who had recently arrived over the Renewous Trail of Tears to what is now Oklahoma, took up donations and collected over $5,000. And the famine ravaged during 1840. The Choctaw donated was sent to Middleton town, south of Dublin. There, many decades later, townspeople realized their aid come from people who were themselves in very unique set of circumstances, reestablishing their society, their government, and a long and painful migration. Irish president visited the Choctaw Nation in 1995 and did what? Rekindled and reestablished the friendship. Choctaws for their aid in Middleton. So in 2017, the sculpture commemorating the Choctaw and their gifts known as kindred spirits was dedicated in the beautiful park in Middleton, showing this connection between Choctaw and Irish, especially during these migrations. Hold up, I ain't ready to go here yet. Let me bring this back. Let me bring that back. I ain't ready to go there yet. Fuck it. I might have to. All right, let's do this. Now, you had something in history called, this is something in history called the 5 Civilized Tribe Act. The 5 Civilized Tribe Act. Now, in Section 16 of the 5 Tribes Act, they enacted together Section 7013. And hold on, let me come down. I'll take that back. Let me come up, my bad. In April 1606, the United States Congress passed the 5 Tribes Act. Now, this is after Dawes, then you had the Curtis Act, and then they came back. It was called the 5 Civilized Tribe Act, 1906, I'm sorry. And it provided final disposition of affairs of the 5 civilized tribes. Because if you look them up, the 5 civilized tribes were supposed to end it in 1906. And in 1907, we see Oklahoma coming to statehood. And if you look at the Cherokee government, it'll say they were created from 1794 to 1907. Well, 1906 is when all of the 5 civilized tribes were supposed to have been disbanded. Check. So their governmental structure that we had will come to a close 1906. I'm giving up exclusive shit. Check. I'm giving up exclusive shit today. I guarantee you never heard it. But this is the act that a lot of people don't know. Oh, 5 civilized tribes ain't us. You're a motherfucking lie. What you need to know is that in 1906, the United States government disbanded them. Okay? They disbanded them. Now, the dissolution of the nations reflected its title. 1906 Act not only recognized that the tribal governments continue, all right, and that's in Act 28 now, but it also delayed termination of those governments according to the nations. At the same time, the Congress was clarifying that the nation governments were to continue operating in indefinite future through passage of Section 28 of the 5 Tribes Act. Congress also established clear rules in that same legislation on how the nation's property was to be managed by who? By the United States. Listen, bro, you ain't listen. Your estates is going to be managed by the United States now. We're going to disband it, bring in new management, and under this new management, y'all are run. But listen, fam, you're under the United States. Check. Let's get some flames in here. Like I said, this is exclusive. This shit I kept out the lecture, and I was just gonna put it in the book. Matter of fact, we'll get out there. We'll get out there right now, and I'll put it in the book. Like I said, we'll go deeper in the book. Well, the Choctaws in 1906, they came by train from where? Mississippi. Shout out to Big Sick. through Louisiana. Shout out to Kerry Bay. Into Dallas. Shout out to TB2 Live and them. And those were dropped off, and Ardmore was just clothes on their back and no supplies. This led to the disbandment. This led to the disbandment of the tribe 1906. Remember, the Dawes Road still running, in which each member was given a small allotment to live on, and the Choctaws lost their community. All right, that's coming from the University of Oklahoma. Can't get an amen. They'll walk it down. And it's so prevalent that it's still in the game today. These are the things that go unnoticed. So right here, they out there politicking. They out there politicking. Because when the government was disbanded, it was turned over to who? An immigrant class that were brought in. This in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nearly 100 Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw assembled in Muskogee Creek, met at the Historical Council Oak Tree on April 26 to commemorate what? The 100th anniversary of the Act of 1906, which is known as the Five Civilized Tribes Act. Can I get an amen? Hey, jump on my like button, support the show. Jump on my like button, support the show. I know it. This is a Bocce lecture brought to you by the legendary Big Chief Topcatz. Tribal leaders spoke about the act that helped establish Oklahoma statehood. Remember, Oklahoma came in 1907 in statehood. What did it do? Well, it dissolved tribal courts. Who tribal courts? Your tribal courts. It closed schools and abolished tribal taxes because they also reminded people of the act that gave the five civilized tribes an opportunity to grow again and establish the rights to federal funding. Okay, we know we didn't get the federal funding, so they disbanded them, and then they brought in new management, and that's the representation that we've been seeing, and it's all here. They're telling you, the last of the 28 sections said tribal governments are hereby continue in full force and effect. Now I just showed you that, right? I just showed you under Section 28 that they are under Section 28. I think it was the fourth one. They said that they are to hereby continue in full effect, but they will be turned over into United States. Check. That's the part that these are the things that go unnoticed. When we go back, the people that were in control of the immigration that was coming in, and they wanted to, let's say, organize it. The people that would be in control of organizing will come from a secret society out of the north. These people will be known in history as Quakers. Well, their secret society would be known as the Religious Society of Friends. Through this Religious Society of Friends, we will see the emergence of Prince Howard Freemasonry, so the Black Church. Can I get an amen? Philadelphia, Mother Bethel. We're going to go here. Hold on. Let me do something. Ah, damn, I ain't got my mic on. All right, let's go here.
OG! Hey, y'all riding them horses out here in Philly, man. Man, I'm coming all the way from Texas, man. Y'all got me feeling back home. All the way from Texas, man. Man, we're in Philadelphia, man. Them boys out here on them horses, man. Yeah, turn up one time. Appreciate y'all. Peace, tapping in.
He said we ride out here too. Shout out to the culture. Big Indian business. We ride out here too, homeboy. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Turn up one time, nigga. I'm fucking with it. All the way from Texas. You dig? All the way from Texas, you dig? Yeah, we gonna get them horns off of there.
Hey man, it's Legendarytopcatz. Do you know where I'm at? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Who's underground? Guess where I'm at? One of my favorite colonizers. Hi, you hear me? St. George, Greek Orthodox Cathedral. Yeah, ain't no church. This is a cathedral. Right here is, well, the birth of the AME church will come out of right here, St. George. It is said that the blacks were threw out of the church. Mishaps over the pews in the church where they wanted them to sit at versus where they felt like they should be sitting. Well, they had took off on Absalom Jones. Ain't none of them helping. I don't know why. If I was there, I would have helped them. But that was this church in Greek.
They say Top Cat, you need to go get that weight back on you. They say Big Chief, he looking like, they say Big Chief, you need to put that weight back on you. Big old teddy bear. Look how big that young nigga neck is. Yeah, nigga, I done lost all that. They got back down to 220 pounds. They say, look at the size of that nigga neck. Woo! Looking like an action figure. Looking like an Indian hero.
Make it top. The next stop we about to pull up to. First AME church in the U.S. 1791. Absalom Jones, first pastor here, and Richard Allen. You know who this guy is? The GOAT. Yeah, they ain't talking about it. The GOAT. See this guy right here? Boy, don't let him get to flipping the pages. No, man, I'll tell you, he got the thing. So this is damn near the greatest colonizer of all time. You know who he is? He is the first AME church. This is Reverend. You hear me? You know Reverend Al Sharpton. You know Reverend Jesse James. You know Reverend Dr. Moore.
Hey, why is y'all still bringing up folks that don't post? Man, y'all get these other niggas out of here who supposed to be in here, man. We trying to make sure the people paying attention, we don't need no type of distractions, bro. Y'all keep entertaining the bullshit.
I don't know what they're going to do. But anyway, nigga, this is Richard Rich. This is Richard Allen, man. Greatest colonizer of all time. Top 5 dead alive on anybody here. So you don't know history. Man, Rich, I came all the way out to come see you, man. To the city of brotherly love. I'm walking in, y'all ain't quick as they. Yeah, man, I'm trying to come in here and get some deep, man. In the city out there from like some recreation. Yeah, we got to do something about this. Thus says the Lord. Thus says the Lord, Rich. You sharp, man. Like, you got some money, man. They told me you know they got here right here to the stage. They say you an runaway slave. They say, don't do this shit. He said, you know me, baby. You know, I'm just trying to, hey, man. Come on, let's walk over here, man. This is Brother Justin, founded on the ground purchased by Richard Allen in 1791. This congregation is the mother church of the African Episcopal denomination. They present the president was erected in 1889, replacing 3 early churches on this site. You also had in 87, right before that, we had what's called the Free African Society. Established in 1787 under Richard Addy, Absalom Jones, his organization fostered identity. I want you to circle that. Now, identity came, no, it's not black today. What they call black today. But identity, leadership, unity among black, and became the forerunner of the first African American churches in the city. And they held South Carolina, Little B second. And then you had Dr. Martin Luther King family, they church down in Georgia. So it's gonna look old, man. You want to go pull up, man? We're in a hell of a spot right here. Y'all tap in though, man. Hey, one more thing before I pull out though. Nigga, I got you popping out here right now. Bitch, I got you nigga real good. The papers are there. Today is 2024. And nigga, they know about you everywhere, Rich. Got you in my new book, this drop. I'm fucking with you. Come back through, man. I couldn't come through here, man. They come fuck with you. Be cool, man. Fuck with you later, man.
Shout out to Philadelphia. Shout out to Philly, man. Philly left a lasting impression on me. It did. It left an impression on me. I said, man, Philadelphia is a museum within itself. You know, man, them people were so brilliant. They were able to carve themselves in the history, and as long as that shit is still standing, you know, they left their symbols, their codes, they left their fingerprints, they left their legacy, homie. And even though it wasn't for benefit for certain people, one thing we have to understand is the greatness that we see, and it was the greatness that we possess because the people that did it wasn't people who came from somewhere else. Now, what they did was they brought in immigration. They immigrated people into their colonies from areas that they came from, which would be colonies to these areas that they brought them in, that they chartered them to. That's why every state had their own companies, got their own charters, and they brought in immigrants from places that were colonies over in Europe. That were colonies to them over in Europe. Now, when we get over here, many black voters stuck with the party of Lincoln. The data suggests that even in the late 1960s, about 2/3 of African Americans were identified with the Democratic Party. Now, 2/3 is a pretty big number. But when you compare it to today, the numbers hover over 90%. So over 90% of so-called black Americans are voting Democrat. They're loyal to this party. Why? Because what we understand is it wasn't always this case. It wasn't always this case. But there were some political moves that were made. Now we go back to 1879. Again, with this 1879, a guy named Pap Singleton, tireless appeals helped encourage 20,000 African Americans from the Deep South to migrate to Kansas. Okay, and what became known as the Great Exodus of 1879. The Great Exodus of 1879. And it was fueled through what? The AME church. When they got to Kansas, you had St. Mark's AME church. They would build this church, St. Mark's, at 1880. The great migration to Kansas would happen in 79, and in 80 they would create this historical church, St. Mark's, in Topeka, Kansas. The origin of St. Mark's is rooted in two remarkable events recorded in the annals of American history. Number one, the establishment of the AME Church, the oldest black organizing corporation religious denomination. Two, the exodus of former slaves from the South to Kansas between 1877 and 1880, called the Great Exodus, where many black immigrants were particularly attracted to Kansas due to its history as a free state. The remarkable migration of black Americans to Kansas occurred in a 2-month period of March and May. These exodus came primarily from where? Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, and later Texas. Several hundred settled in North Topeka, bringing the Christian faith with them. Many originally gathered in the house-to-house fashion for Bible study. In 1880, St. Mark's was established. The AME Church entered the Kansas Conference. That walk. And that was in the 1880s, where in 1892, about 12 million immigrants were passed through Ellis Island during the time of operation 1892 to 1954. Many of them were from Southern and Eastern Europe. They included Russians, Italians, Slavs, Jews, Greeks, Poles, Serbs, and Turks. New immigrants flooded into these cities. And its immigration will be spearheaded by them and them. Well, when we see another political action take place, it would be with the structure of what become known as the Klan. Well, at this time, the white supremacy conducted a reign over terror throughout the South in a defiance of the Republican-led federal government. Okay, Southern Dems formed organizations that intimidated blacks and Republicans who tried to win political warfare. So this origins of the KKK would be a political action by Dems. The most prominent of these KKK was formed in Pulaski, Tennessee, 1865. Okay, and they became what some people call a terrorist organization. They were responsible for thousands of deaths and helped weaken. I want to say it again, and help weaken the political power of Southern blacks and Republicans. So we'll see them organize in fashion to try to counter these large votes that were coming from Republicans, pro-Republicans, which were ran by the government, which was ran by, colored folk. Well, in 1897, we'll see them, the Dems, enact another political through these same immigrations, as well as scare tactics that was used to even the score within politics. 1897, North Carolina Dem Party decided to embark on white supremacy again, right? We just saw them embark on there with the KKK formation in 1865. Well, this is they ran a campaign to drive out the populist and Republican politicians out of office during 1898 election. The campaign used speeches, propaganda, and the threat of violence to create support for white supremacy. November 1898, New Hanover County Dems used threats to intimidate the stop of African Americans from voting. Pro-Dem. Officers tampered with the return because of tactics. Dems swept the election. Okay. 2 days after contested election, a mob of YT men marched to the office of the Daily Record, an African American newspaper, and set it on fire. And Wilmington was a popping neighborhood, another town of just the greatness that we had, and they came in and tore it down. Well, we see the AME church. Hold on, let me get out of here. I don't need that. I don't need that right now. All right. Now, this AME church, and they will use, quote unquote, these pastors and these politics because they were the Methodists. We were the Methodists that we read about. We were these other denominations that we read about. These are organizations, again, coming from the North, bringing the institutions down in the South and instilling them. Well, part of your affiliation among members of the AME church, when we look at the numbers, they're voting 92%. The AME church are voting 92% Dems. Okay? 92%. 92%. And when we look up as quote unquote colored people as a whole, we're voting over 90%. Let me see where we going with it. So when the immigrants came over in 1907, and they said, how do Legendarytopcatz compare to arrivals today? Check them out. How do they compare today? Because what we see in the past is not anything new. Check. It's nothing new. It's the same old play by the same wing. The busiest day in Ellis Island was April 17, 1907, when over 11,000 immigrants passed through the processing center. Nearly 1.3 million immigrants came to the U.S. that year, a record for high volume of immigrants that held into 1990. These people came in search of better and safer lives, yet compared immigrants to 2017 immigrants back when much less likely to speak English and skilled workers, according to research. Most immigrants in 1907 came from Europe. Many Protestant white field immigration could assimilate Catholic immigrants with Southern and Eastern Europe. So that was the reason of these different organizations that were created, because the funding for these people to come over, they didn't have the money or resources. So the resources actually came from here, from these institutions here. And so, like I say, what we've seen in the past, well, it is still taking place today. The House Democrats mocked for nonsense comparison the southern border crisis. The southern border crisis that we're witnessing now, they're comparing it to Ellis Island.
No more stinky, sweaty nuts. Stinky balls build up buttloads of sweat.
1,000 people crossed the border illegally in a single day, the highest number ever. Now, one Democrat is comparing the crisis at our southern border to what Ellis Island faced more than 100 years ago. Listen.
This is happening right now. So what should we do right now to stop this?
We do need comprehensive immigration reform. We need to make sure we get them more resources to be able to handle what we've been seeing. I always encourage people to look back into the history of Ellis Island. We were processing much more people than we do now. Such a long time ago with worse technology, and so we're able to do this. We just gotta get down to it.
Here with reaction is retired Border Patrol agent Chris Clem. Chris, can you believe that? Back in the day, Ellis Island was open and about 1,900 people were coming over every single day. We saw 12,000 come across our border in one sector this week in one day.
Yeah, that's just nonsense and classic virtue signaling from politicians. Let's look at the history of Ellis Island. Mid 1800s to 1900, over 60 years, 12 million people were processed. We're 3/4 of the way there in the last 3 years under this president. I mean, coming off the heels of an industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, we needed people. These were family units. These are not what we're seeing today. And by the way, people that arrived at Ellis Island, they were stopped on the ship before they even got there to be quarantined for medical. So to compare that is just classic virtual signaling from a lot of elected leaders, but one particular party is kind of gotten the handle on that really well.
Yeah, they talk about that. If you visit Ellis Island, you see the names on the wall. You had to be vetted to come into this country. You had to quarantine. You had to go through medical checks. We're not seeing that at our southern border.
No, they're coming in illegally. That's exactly what they're doing. Now, they are getting eventually taken into custody by Border Patrol, and there will be medical screening, and there will be biometrics. The agents are going to do their job, but we don't have any room at the end that we've talked about because they've defunded ICE. They've reduced the detention capacity, so they're basically caught and released. And they got a hearing a couple of years down the road. So look, we've incentivized illegal immigration under this administration, but typical elected official conflating immigration and border security. We need to get back to the basics. We need to secure the border. Let's get that fixed. Let's get it done right. And then let's go to the table to address immigration.
Chris, what's your reaction when you see the immigrants being interviewed by Fox reporters on the border and they're saying, "We love you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe Biden."
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's frustrating because we hear one thing from the administration that they're doing everything they can to secure the border, yet, this is just reinforcing that they're not doing that. What they're telling the American people and what actually is happening on the ground are two different stories, and you're hearing it for the migrants themselves.
Yeah, it's scary for what's ahead, the future of America. We saw what happened in Israel. And when you talk to experts like yourself and you say, this is very scary, could that happen here? Are they coming here? And they say they already are here.
Yeah, I was down in Lukeville where it's been pretty hot the last few days in regards to traffic. And what I saw was, literally 500-600 people on the ground there, mostly military-aged men, 18 to 45-year-old men from all sorts of countries all over the world. And yeah, I mean, again, if we don't have room at the end and there's not an immediate opportunity to remove them, which there currently isn't, that is kind of scary, right? We're going to do the best we can to run checks to see who they are, but the true vetting process is going to take a lot of time. And based on what I understand and what I'm seeing and even what I experienced, we're not going to have that time, and they're going to be released. And let's just continue to support our men and women on the front line there at the Border Patrol that are doing the best they can under the circumstances they're faced with.
They're released here for a long time before they go to court, and most of them don't show up for court. Chris, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great weekend.
You see that? And it's real. Now, I want to say this here because all of these things that we're seeing, as far as the Dems, they say in the 30s is when color folk start having a relationship with them. And one of it was that it came through welfare. Well, a lot of those Ellis Island people was getting the welfare. Just like Trump spoke about the other day, these people coming over, they're getting put in these rooms and they're also giving Medicaid. So instead of quarantining them and giving them these medical, they're giving them the Medicaid. So there's no budget in there for the citizens here or the people that has already been here or for us. Now this plan after Pap Singleton in the exodus to Kansas, where the Senate stepped in. And the Senate interviewed Pap Singleton, and he interviewed, I can't think of my boy name out of Louisiana, who took migrations west. They interviewed him, and they asked why these people are showing up. Well, what the Senate come to find out is that this is what they call controlled migrations. through these controlled migration, what takes place? Well, through this controlled migration, they are able to flip the politics. They're able to bring in the people that they want, who will have voices, and they'll build them up to actually fight in these sit on these boards, get into political positions, and they'll usher in their politics and bring in their regime. Well, when we go back, it was an article a pamphlet wrote back in the game titled "How to Conquer Texas Before Texas Conquers Us." How to conquer Texas before Texas conquers us. Now it reads, they suppose that the population of Texas, as with the rapid increase which it shall gain united to this confederacy, is to be a slave-holding population, a population of the same views and principles in which first colonized the country. Okay, because Mama Texas, she was the home of freedom. Now, a population in size of views, principles which first colonized the country. In the ordinary course of immigration, listen, this was their plan. In the course of immigration, will prove true. Must it prove true, however, may not northern men, northern capitalists, northern immigrants, northern fathers and northern mothers, northern teachers and northern pupils change this condition. May not the north pour down, listen, may not the north pour down its hordes upon the fertile valley and bear civilization and Christianity and freedom in the recess. Northern energy has peopled and civilized southern countries heretofore. May it not again. So a lot of people get mad when I say, "Oh, it was the North, the colonizers. They came down and brought their institutions and their mindset and their colonizer minds down here to the South. If it didn't happen, why are they bragging about it right here in this pamphlet? Speaking on how they're going to colonize, because like they said, many northern states, southern states, they have already colonized. May we ask the question, the attention of all considerate men who view the admission to the Union of Texas, as Texas is now, as an evil. Listen to him, family. Listen to him. Watch this here. We ought, by acting in Texas, by our immigrants in Texas, okay? They're immigrants, by our moral influence in Texas, by our votes in Texas, to continue the contest of freedom in the first skirmish in which we have been defeated. We ought thus prevent four last evil which has been named. We ought to hasten the end of slavery in southeastern Texas and make northern western Texas free. So they're going to split it up and make the southern parts slave and the northern states free. We ought to restore the balance of power between free and slave states. We ought to place Texas a population, listen, a population of high principle if we can. We ought to attain such influence in Texas councils. All right, so this play will be a blueprint for people like the New England Colonization Society, who brought over a lot of immigrants in the Homestead Act, who brought over a lot of immigrants in Ellis Island, different organizations of this nature, coming from the North, coming from Democratic parties. They say in 2053, Black Americans will own zero wealth. And one of the number one methods is to replace us with immigrants and keep us in the same class system. And the people on the main line People on the main line. They are to operate as a buffer class, as a gatekeeping class. As we look, the organization that's supposed to be the NAACP, who vote primarily Democrat. Well, we go to the Black Caucus, who sat in front of a Democratic president, Nixon, and then they were able to be brought in and they created this body or representation of the Black Caucus. And today, the CBC has predominantly been made up of members of the Democratic Party. Okay? Predominantly made up of the Dem Party. The founding members of the caucus envisioned a non-partisan organization. And this is coming from the Congressional Black Caucus. This is them saying it their own. They are predominantly, okay? So that's why you see more representation of them than you see of YT people. And every time the YT people get in trouble, they run to their colored counterparts. They run to their colored counterparts. And everything that we've been seeing taking place here is not anything new. This is something that has been going on for some time now. And the representation for us, that's why I say it's going to have to be great. We're going to have to be more unified than we have ever been in order to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and get out of this mess. The BS we have no time for. The placing ourselves on an island we have no time for. There are good people out there. There are people out there who will make great allies. A lot of people don't want to indulge in those type of things, but then it becomes a competition. When the competition should be us actually working together and bringing something together for the generations to come. Because if we don't have anything to bring them in, guess what? These black leaders do. And these black leaders have a lot of funding behind them. And they're powerful. If they're not powerful, as they're telling us that they are, if they're really weak as they're telling us they are, then why are the YT people so comfortable and confident and running to them, especially on the Dems party? I'll tell you why. Because behind the scenes, in the shadows, the hand that is operating in the back is black. Let me run that back. The hand that is operating in the back of the Dem party is actually black. And when you look up and realize this black power that people were looking for, well, the Dems are actually running to that black power as well. And when we look up and we find out that it was us planning these politics without the proper education, is what put us in the situation that we're in today, behind the 8-ball, with funded immigrants who are on fast track to citizenship, like Trump said, who are being brought here for political reason, for votes, and most importantly, to take the place of the citizens. My name is Legendary Big Chief Top Cat, and that has been my motherfucking time. This is Hibachi Lecture. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Good night.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different. You must be made for me. Patience is everything. In and out, in and out, in and out. Arguing, trifling, difficult. Let go. I don't know. why you love me, yeah. You got it bad, you got it bad for me, babe. I don't forget that I can have this, babe. Nobody else but you. Nobody else makes me. Nobody else had a clue what I can do, what I can do. Right around the love, right around the trip, right around the dick. I don't wanna slap me up, babe. Don't wanna fit. Right around the world, right around the talk to me. Oh, yeah. Feel it in my heart, feel it in my soul, feel it in my body, that you do know. But never fall out of love with you. You. I don't wanna fight, baby, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. Fighting on my mind, fighting on my life for you. I'm trusting you, babe. I want this to where I feel so bad. That I feel it in my chest and I want it. I want it, yeah. Never fall out of love with you. Get you.